Grace Berger on the court. And while Indiana head coach Terry Morin initially deemed Berger as day-to-day, she has since changed that statement. When I asked her a few days ago about Grace Berger's status, she said that she is now out indefinitely. I was able to talk to Grace Berger earlier this morning about the long-term impact of her absence on the team, and she said that this team is deep, but giving more players meaningful minutes and against quality opponents will, in the long run, be good for this team. Back to you guys.
Well, Mackenzie Holmes has been getting meaningful minutes for a while now in Bloomington as she starts us off with the left-handed layup for the first 2 points of the game as IU is ahead early. This Illinois team comes in at 7-1 after winning just 7 games a season ago. As they have the basketball, they're not able to keep it alive, as here comes Indiana on the break. Sydney Parrish has it. Now to Sarah Sky. Here's Chloe Moore McNeil, the point guard now with Grace Berger out for this IU squad. She's had 9 assists in the last 2 games as she drives by and gets the left-handed layup to fall, going right past Bryn Shoop-Hill.
Too easy there for Chloe Moore McNeil, Zion. And something to note, you mentioned the 9 assists, 0 turnovers as well in that game against North Carolina.
That was Indiana's last game. The 5th-ranked team in the country, IU, defeated number 6 North Carolina in an 87-63 battle. As that time, it's Kendall Bostic getting the layup to fall. Bostic, the Indiana native playing at Illinois, they're starting big, getting that for the Illini's first 2 points. It's a 4-2 ball game. IU is on top. Up top, it's going to be a 3 for the freshman, Yarden Garzone, but she can't get it to drop. Here comes Makira Cook down the other direction for Illinois. Passing it off here, Jayla Oden. Oden steps back. Nice defense that time by Garzone, and it leads to a traveling violation.
It's a great job defensively there, Zion. Staying down on your feet is Yarden Garzone there, not biting on the pump fake. She stays down, stays in good defensive position, and that's why she's able to force the turnover.
So with 8:15 left to play in the first quarter of action, Indiana leads Illinois 4-2 as they get it down low to Mackenzie Holmes, and an offensive foul is going to be called on Garzone. Off the ball, she wasn't even involved in the screen that got Holmes open, but she is called for the charge. It's what would have been a bucket for Holmes. Her second of the game turns into an Indiana turnover. Now Illinois can tie or take the lead on this possession, down by 2. Here's Shoop-Hill with the basketball. Bryn Shoop-Hill up to Makira Cook. Cook finds Jayla Oden. They get the second screen going as well, as it's taken away by Sydney Parrish. Taking that from Adalia McKenzie. Parrish, right wing, Moore McNeil for the 3, drills it. Chloe Moore McNeil getting on the board, the first 3-pointer we've seen today.
Moore McNeil, 39% from behind the 3-point line on the season, gets that one to go. Good job by Sydney Parrish to get the steal and get it out in transition quickly.
Adalia McKenzie pulls up, 14-footer, too strong. Rebound fought for, and Sydney Parrish comes away with it after the Mackenzie Holmes tap. Here's Parrish up the left side. She finds Holmes in the post. One-on-one against Bostic. She gets it right back. Working against Bostic. Can't get the left-hander to go. It's a 5-point IU lead, 7-2. Coming down the floor, it's Makira Cook. Up top, Bostic thought about the 3, but gave it back to Cook. 3 minutes into this ball game, Indiana leads 7-2 over Illinois in the Big Ten opener between these two squads. Cook weaving around the foul line. Up top, open 3, Adalia McKenzie. Off back iron, and Parrish comes away with it for Indiana. Here's Garzone with the basketball. She's going to try to drive right. Now backing down in the post. Nice defense by Adalia McKenzie. Here's Holmes for the 13-footer, cashes it home.
Mackenzie Holmes, huge for the Indiana Hoosiers this year, especially with the absence recently of Grace Berger, averaging 26 points per game over the last week, is Mackenzie Holmes.
Indiana leads it 9-2 now. Illinois has it, Bryn Shoop-Hill. Back to Makira Cook. Cook trying to drive inside. Cook going up for the shot. A lot of contact, no call. And that was last touched by Mackenzie Holmes, so Illinois will keep possession, 8 left on the shot clock.
You can already tell, Zion, early on in this one, there are not a lot of driving lanes open and available for the Illini so far. The Hoosiers' length and athleticism defensively, their gang style of defense, where they really plug the holes, is causing the Illini some problems early on.
And we see another deflection that time by Chloe Moore McNeil. We just saw Yarden Garzone come out of the game for Hannah Sandvik. So the freshman for freshman substitution that time. 5 seconds left on the shot clock for the Fighting Illini. The inbound to Jada Peebles, and the offensive foul is called on the screening action. So that was on Kendall Bostic. She picks up the foul, and Illinois turns it over.
That's a great job by Chloe Moore McNeil to fight over that screen and draw that foul. If she doesn't try and fight through the screen hard like that, then there's no foul going to be called against Bostic. She does a great job of fighting through it.
Illinois in a zone. IU leads 9-2 over 4 minutes into this ball game. Moore McNeil swinging it to Scalia, down low. Holmes finds Sandvik cutting, and she gets the reverse layup to fall.
Great heads-up back cut from Hannah Sandvik. Doing a great job just being aware, and a good job as well from Mackenzie Holmes to flash to the high post area and find her back-cutting teammate.
Indiana now leads by 9. They're on an 11 or 7-0 run. As going into the lane, it's swatted by Mackenzie Holmes as Adalia McKenzie got stuffed. Sandvik up ahead. Scalia has it now for IU. As Illinois stays in the zone, Moore McNeil finds Pierce. Low post touch for Holmes. Holmes with the left hand, short. And Illinois comes the other way after the McKenzie rebound. Here comes Adalia McKenzie. McKenzie this year averaging over 16 points. She gives it up to Makira Cook. It's an 11-2 Indiana lead over halfway through the first quarter of play. Cook steps back for the three, and it banks home for Makira Cook. What a shot.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
On the bench, and for the first time today, Lexus Barchester comes into the game for IU. 11-point lead for the Hoosiers, 90 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Up top, Adalia McKenzie. McKenzie gonna take the mid-range jumper. Off the mark, rebound by Barchester. Here's Sydney Parrish, over to Sarah Scalia. They feed the post to Holmes. Holmes looking for a cutter. Holmes trying to go to work, and they say she took an extra step, walking and shifting her pivot foot.
I mentioned it earlier, Zion. How long would it take for Shauna Green and the Illinois Fighting Illini to send that second defender, Mackenzie Holmes' way? We saw it right there, forcing her into a turnover.
So here's Illinois as they give it to Makira Cook. Cook lost the ball. Holmes on the ground for it, and she's able to scoop it up to Sydney Parrish. Indiana on the break. Here's Barchester. Barchester gets to the hoop but can't finish as McKenzie comes the other way for Illinois. Adalia McKenzie weaving around the defense, and she is hacked by Mackenzie Holmes on the way up. And we will see Adalia McKenzie head to the foul line for our first free throws of the game on either side.
Dalia McKenzie loves to get downhill, especially in transition. We saw right there, very quick with the ball in her hands, able to get down, attack the basket, finally able to get all the way to the basket. The Indiana defense has done a good job preventing her from getting there so far in this one, but she finally does, and she's able to draw a foul.
She can bring the IU lead down to single digits, but not anymore as she missed the first free throw. McKenzie last year only made about 58% of her free throws, only shooting around 62% so far this season. As 1-for-2 trip for McKenzie. That was her first point of the game with that foul shot. A little bit of a press from Illinois. Indiana breaks it. Now they send a trap. Here's Chloe Moore McNeil, finds it into the corner. Lexus Barchester can't finish on the layup, and she knocked it out of bounds. It'll go over to Illinois with the shot clock off.
You can just tell the Illini trying to do anything they can defensively to get the Hoosiers out of their rhythm offensively, trying to disrupt things, make it more difficult for the Hoosiers.
It's been 2:39 since IU last scored, but they're still ahead by 10. I'm not sure what the stoppage was for, but then IU made a substitution right after the fact, bringing in Hannah Sandvik back off from the bench. Now we're still paused. Well, it looks like we will resume with 26 seconds remaining in this first quarter in Indiana, leading by 10. Genesis Bryant brings it up for Illinois. Bryant, the junior out of Jonesboro, Georgia. Gets her hand off to Peebles. Over to Adalia McKenzie. McKenzie looking to go to work against Chloe Moore McNeil. Nice control, body control as she lays it up and in. 5 seconds left for Indiana to work with. Here's Moore McNeil. Chloe Moore McNeil going down the left side. Layup is good as time expires.
And what she said to me is that for us, every game out, all I know is to prepare and have that mindset to win. We didn't come here to be average. We didn't come here to be okay. We came here to win. And while they are down 10 points now, that doesn't mean they'll lose the game. Back up to you guys.
Green made the tournament 4 times at Dayton and was a 3-time Atlantic 10 Coach of the Year. Now in her first season in Champaign. Right now, her team is trailing by 10 heading into the second quarter. As Makaira Cook has the basketball, she'll pull up for the 17-foot jumper. No, but on the offensive board, it's blocked as Giovanna Lopez pressure to the game. Had her shot swatted. It'll still be Illinois ball. Shot clock resetting after that offensive board. Here's Peebles driving. Jada Peebles through contact. Great effort, but it just rimmed out. And Indiana cleared it with Garzone. Jordan Garzone with the basketball. She finds Mackenzie Holmes rolling, left-handed layup, rolls off the rim. And Makaira Cook looking to push for Illinois. Cook has an open lane, she takes it, and she puts it in with the left hand over Chloe Moore McNeil.
Mackenzie Holmes coming back down on the defensive side, frustrated with herself. She couldn't finish with the left hand and beating everybody pretty much down the floor. Makaira Cook, tough to stop one-on-one in transition.
Cook has 5 points to lead the Illini, and this time, Jordan Garzone gets inside for the Hoosiers and responds with the layup of her own.
So much attention on the defensive side of things for the Illini goes towards Mackenzie Holmes. Right there, Garzone taking advantage of that and finding herself open.
And we're just having a layup fest right now, as this time it's Kendall Bostic off the pass from Genesis Bryant.
Great start offensively. The first 90 seconds of this second quarter for the Illini, executing well offensively.
Let's see if IU can respond. As they swing around, Scalia down low to Mackenzie Holmes. Holmes against Bostic. Didn't get a very clean gather, but was still able to put it in.
Mackenzie Holmes so patient down low. Still no double team on that one there from Shauna Green and the Illini. It'll be interesting to see. We've seen them double once so far when Holmes has caught it down low. Mackenzie Holmes, though, a lot of the time goes so quick on the block you can't even get a double there in time.
Here's Makaira Cook. Cook's going to take another one of those foul line jumper. This one is Pier. 8-point game. Indiana on top. A couple minutes into the second quarter. We've just gone back and forth with buckets here to begin this quarter of play. Garzone. Nice little ball fake, but well off on the shot. And here's Makaira Cook on the other direction. She's got it going now. She takes the three and she sinks it. Makaira Cook now has 10 points, and she's had quite the second quarter so far, starting this one off with 7 points.
Makaira Cook stepping into that one confidently. 7 points in this quarter alone, and we're only 3 minutes in.
Holmes responds. I think we should all just clear out and let it be Makaira Cook versus Mackenzie Holmes right now, Zach, because that's what it's looking like.
Mackenzie Holmes, she's been dominant all year for the Indiana Hoosiers, and Makaira Cook, she has it going right now. I'd be shocked if anybody other than her gets a look on this possession for the Illini.
Holmes is up to 10 points for Indiana. Here's Kendall Bostic giving it off to Cook, and Chloe Moore McNeil just ramming through Genesis Bryant that time, getting called for the foul as she was trying to chase Cook around and just bulldozed her way through the screen.
That was a good job there by Makaira Cook, setting up Chloe Moore McNeil for that screen. She faked like she was going back door, then was able to come back up around the screen. That's what got Chloe Moore McNeil off balance and forced her to run over the Illinois screen setter.
Illinois has made its last 4 field goals And here's the hot hand, Mykaira Cook with the basketball. Cook hands it off to Peebles. Now to Genesis Bryant, to Kendall Bostic. They get it back to Cook. She'll pull up for another jumper. That one just misses. Bostic on the offensive board finds Jada Peebles. Fight for it on the ground. It's going to be a tie ball, and possession arrow points towards the Hoosiers.
Good active hands there. Off the offensive rebound for the Illini, the Hoosiers collapsed on Kendall Bostic down low, able to force it out of her hands and tie it up.
So Indiana leading by 7, the 5th-ranked Hoosiers. And they'll take the ball as Moore McNeil will bring it across half court. Here's Hannah Sandvik. Back to Chloe Moore McNeil. She gets the screen from Holmes. Sydney Parrish will try a three. Parrish way off on that three, and it's rebounded that time by Jada Oden. Here's Mykaira Cook. Cook going down the right side. Bostic thought about a jumper. Now she'll try to drive on Holmes. Kendall Bostic to the hole for 2. And Illinois has cut this to a 5-point game. And some of the Illini faithful behind that Illinois bench starting to get into it.
If you're the Hoosiers here, you've got to try to weather the storm. Get the ball in the hands of Mackenzie Holmes or Chloe Moore McNeil. Let them make a play.
Yarden Garzone calls for the screen, doesn't get it. But she finds Mackenzie Holmes down low, blocked from behind, but there was contact, as that is going to be a foul call at that time on Jayla Oden.
Good recognition there from Holmes. Good defense, though, to get back in help. You can see the block right there. Good job recognizing and getting back. Jayla Oden doing a good job forcing Mackenzie Holmes to earn 2 points from the free throw line.
Holmes this year is making 69% of her free throws, made nearly 81% of her foul shots a season ago. That time, that was the 11th point of the game for Mackenzie Holmes. She's well on her way to her 5th consecutive 20-point game, and she has been dominant over the last week or so.
She has been, and that's why she won the Big Ten Player of the Week this past week. Mackenzie Holmes doing it all.
She misses the second. Here comes Cook for Illinois. Mykaira Cook trying to get downhill. She forces one over Holmes. Nice defense by Holmes as Indiana clears it with Garzone. Up ahead to Parrish. Swinging it, open left corner three for Sarah Scalia, doesn't fall. And Mykaira Cook looking to continue the track meet, but Sydney Parrish takes it away. Scalia in transition, back to Parrish. Parrish for 3, got it. Second 3 of the day for Sydney Parrish. And Indiana, the lead right back to 9.
That's a great find there from Sarah Scalia, finding the trailing Sydney Parrish. She does a good job getting inside the three-point line and then just turning around and handing it off to the trailing Parrish.
Jayla Oden with the basketball. Oden driving downhill, getting the layup to fall with some contact, and she'll head to the line for a chance to get 3 the old-fashioned way.
Due to those shooters that Indiana has around the perimeter, it's hard to double team and double off a shooter when they're shooting 40%.
Jayla Oden can't finish the three-point play for Illinois. Strong rebound by Sydney Parrish for IU. Here come the Hoosiers as Corey Moore McNeil brings it across. As she has her pass deflected by Oden, go right back into the hand of Sarah Scalia. Holmes trying to find Parrish down low. It's knocked away by Adalia McKenzie. Here comes Jada Peebles. Peebles straight into Sandvik's chest, no call. Offensive rebound, McKenzie lost it.
That's a 7th offensive rebound for Illinois so far in this first half. 0 second chance points.
Scalia back out to Moore McNeil. They swing it around and get it down to Holmes. Holmes on the left side, lays it through off the glass.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
Genesis Bryant does a good job of, once she makes that entry pass, she does a good job of moving without the basketball, found herself open and knocked down the 3.
It's a 4-point game, the lowest it's been since early in the first quarter, as Illinois is called for a foul off the ball. Bryant making that last 3. She now has 6 points today off of 2 threes. And she's the transfer from North Carolina State coming over this season to play for Shauna Green and the Fighting Illini. More McNeil. Looked like Mackenzie Holmes may have missed the cut. They still get it to her. And now they swing it back around up top. Sarah Scalia looking to drive. She got bumped. And they'll call that on the floor for the foul.
Sarah Scalia just putting her head down, trying to get to the basket. Does a good job drawing the foul, going through the contact, fighting through the contact, trying to get to that right hand. She does a good job, as you can see, just putting her head down and trying to get to the basket.
Parrish gets open off the inbound, and Makira Cook could only foul her to prevent a layup. So Sydney Parrish will head to the line.
Well-run inbounds play there for the Hoosiers. Sydney Parrish does a good job. The Hoosiers and their inbounds plays do a great job of setting those off-ball screens that are so necessary to get open in and around the basket on those types of plays.
So Parrish heads to the free throw line. Shot about 71% last year at Oregon, at about 64% to begin this season, but she makes the first, ending a 2-minute and 49-second scoring drought for the Hoosiers. As Parrish goes just 1 for 2 that time, Illinois has outscored IU 18-13 in the second quarter. We've got less than a minute to play. Here's Makira Cook. Cook weaving inside, and she took an extra step. So Makira Cook called for the walk. Cook, after having a hot start to the quarter, has cooled off a little bit. That's her 4th turnover in this half.
The Hoosiers, we watched shoot around earlier today, Zion, and one of the things the defense wanted to do for the Indiana Hoosiers was show the Illini bodies in the paint. Once they got past that initial defender, they wanted to see multiple defenders step up.
This time they send 3 at Holmes as she turns it over. Here comes Jada Peebles. They swing it into the corner, and now they find Makira Cook. There's about a 5-second difference between shot clock and game clock here near the end of the first half. Cook looking to take as much time as she can before setting up the offense. Cook will just pull up in front of Mackenzie Holmes, and right in the face of Holmes, she puts it through. 2-point game now heading in. There's 5 seconds left. Moore McNeil puts up the 3 off the mark, and that is how this first half ends. Illinois with a strong surge. Hey, like you said, so far they haven't been able to get second chance points, even though they have gotten those opportunities. So here we are for the second half of play. Indiana with the basketball as they swing it around to Sydney Parrish. Back to Chloe Moore McNeil. Sarah Scalia with the basketball. She's looking to step up for that 3. She does, but well off the mark on that attempt. And Adalia McKenzie sprinting down on the other end for Illinois. Now she'll slow things up. And Makira Cook will direct the Fighting Illini's offense. Here's Cook. They switch on to her. Adalia McKenzie against Hannah Sandvik. Interesting start in the second half for Sandvik as the 3 is up and too strong from Makira Cook. Sandvik starting the half over Yarden Garzone as that 3 from Sydney Parrish rims out. And it was last touched by Illinois, so IU will keep possession.
You can already tell a quick start for both of these teams, not necessarily in the scoring column, but in the pace department to start this second half. That's something that Shauna Green, the head coach for the Illini, talked about with Talia as we headed into the halftime break.
Harris with the turnaround, Jay, left it short. Illinois can tie or take the lead with this possession, just as they could have with the last one. Here's Jayla Oden with the basketball. Adalia McKenzie driving left side, lays it in, and ties us up at 34 apiece.
It's a great move there from McKenzie. Quick with the ball in her hands. The Hoosier faithful here inside of Assembly Hall know that their team needs a bucket.
It's a 10-1 Illinois run. Down low Holmes. They send a double towards her, and she loses it as Adalia McKenzie stripped it away. Oden came away with it. And here comes Jayla Oden. Oden gets it back. And now she gives it to Makira Cook. Illinois bench shouting directions as they're trying to set up a play offensively. Up top, here's Kendall Bostic. She'll hand it off to Cook. Makira Cook off the screen, puts up the shot. She got fouled on the way down. And so although the shot didn't fall, Makaira Cook will head to the line, trying to give Illinois a lead.
Good job there from the Illini executing that play. Makaira Cook came off a couple of different screens to get the ball heading downhill, drawing the contact against Sydney Parrish on that one.
Cook, an 81% free throw shooter so far this year, and these will be her first 2 attempts of the day, as she makes the first to give Illinois its first lead of the afternoon. Cook, the junior out of Cincinnati, Ohio, transferring over from Dayton, where she was second team A-10 last season under Shauna Green. She stayed with her head coach, and those 2 free throws putting Illinois up by 2. And it's now a 12-1 run for the Fighting Illini. Here's Sarah Scally with the basketball, finding Holmes. Holmes trying to gather, couldn't get it cleanly, and put up a wild shot.
Mackenzie Holmes is seeing a lot more Illinois defenders when she gets her hands on the ball in the post.
Makaira Cook layup falls, and Illinois has taken control of this one. They lead by 4.
This is where, if you're Terry Moore and the Hoosiers, you get the ball into the hands of Chloe Moore McNeil or Mackenzie Thomas, one of your veteran leaders, to try and make the play.
Sarah Scalio with the runner, banks it through as Terry Moore takes the timeout.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
She's returning home for this ball game, has 6 points and 9 boards. Here's Yarden Garzone going up for the scoop shot, and it rolls home.
Good job there by Garzone to be patient. She knew she had the size advantage over the smaller defender, and a good job being patient and not forcing it.
Makaira Cook has it deflected by Mackenzie Holmes. 9-0 run for IU, looking to add on to it.
The Hoosiers going right back to that matchup, potentially Garzone being guarded by Peebles.
They try to find her. They do get it to Garzone in the post. Backing up against Peebles, going up for the shot, but that one is swatted. Here comes Jada Peebles the other direction. Into the corner, Genesis Bryant, much needed 3 for Illinois, couldn't get it to fall. It's over a 3.5-minute scoring drought now for the Fighting Illini. As Indiana has a 5-point lead and the basketball. Holmes catches it, takes the 18-footer off the mark.
For Mackenzie Holmes, that's a great shot. You've got to take what the defense gives you.
That time, Adalia McKenzie a little out of control and well off on the shot attempt. Quick pace in this one. Holmes down low. She got doubled. Believe that was tipped as well. And Illinois gets it right back. They haven't scored in over 4 minutes. Genesis Bryant looking to change that, but she took an extra step beforehand. Illinois has missed its last 4 field goals, and IU is on a 9-0 run, currently with a 5-point lead.
That was the right idea there from Makaira Cook to find the cutting Genesis Bryant. Maybe instead of trying to come to a hot step and try and go through the much bigger Yarden Garzone there, potentially Genesis Bryant could have stopped, maybe shot a pull-up jumper, maybe a floater, but trying to go through the bigger Garzone isn't going to be successful most of the time.
Sydney Parrish with the basketball up to Chloe Moore McNeil. Down low, another post touch for Garzone. She spins and fades, just missing that time as both teams have gone a little cold here in the last few possessions. Makaira Cook looking to change that. She finds Peebles, they swing it around. Adalia McKenzie on the drive, nice pump fake, missing the shot, however, and IU comes away with it. Been nearly 5 minutes since Illinois scored points. Drive from Sarah Scalia, layup falls for Scalia. That's a part of her game that she hasn't been great at in the past, those 2-point shots, but this time she gets it to go. Indiana on an 11-0 run, leading by 7 as Shauna Green and the Fighting Illini take a timeout. Alongside Zach Browning and Talia Goodman, I'm Zion Brown. Here in Bloomington at Simon Scott Assembly Hall as the 7-1 Illini trail by 7 now And I've gone through a cold stretch. Genesis Bryant with the basketball. Bryant inside. Parrish reaching in. She gets it back out to Jayla Oden for the three. Flat on that shot, and it rolls out of bounds back to the Hoosiers.
Good idea there from Genesis Bryant, coming to that hop step, trying to draw in and force the defense to collapse. Got an open look. The Illini just haven't really been able to capitalize in this half.
It has been quite the struggle for Illinois here in the third quarter. Sydney Parrish going up and under, almost went behind the backboard, not even close, as Illinois comes away with it. Makira Cook pulls up for the J, and she breaks the scoring drought for the Fighting Illini with that too.
5.5 minutes it had been since the Illini last scored a point. Big shot there from Makira Cook. That's what you need to step up in late game situations. When you need a bucket, you have to go to somebody like Makira Cook.
Here's a three from Yarden Garzone off the mark. Cook with the basketball. She now has 19 points. And she's going straight to the hoop, but cut off nicely by Garzone. Cook still gets to the Big Ten logo. Almost got the shot to fall, but a foul is called on Lily Meister. And Makira Cook doing it all for Illinois, looking to tack some more on the board.
Where it was 5 straight scoreless minutes for the Fighting Illini. Well, then on the flip side, the Indiana Hoosiers finished out that quarter without scoring for the final 2 minutes. Both these teams, it seems like it'll be whoever makes the last run will get the win.
Jada Peebles for the lead, drills it from the left corner from long range, and Illinois is up by 2.
That is not only the one person, there's so many great shooters on this Illini team, but that is the main person you cannot leave open if you're the Indiana Hoosiers.
9-0 run for Illinois. Chloe Moore McNeil can't respond. Here's Makira Cook, down to Bostic in the post, back to Cook. Now Kendall Bostic screens for Makira Cook. Cook trying to get around Mackenzie Holmes, and a foul will be called on Holmes. Just her second of the day.
Until a defensive adjustment for the Hoosiers on those ball screens. Mackenzie Holmes, as you can see here, picking up the foul, is pushing out much further. She's not playing that drop coverage that we typically see, trying to get the ball out of Makira Cook's hands.
And now Holmes picks up her third foul of the game as she was trying to fight through a screen during the inbound play. And she's called for the foul. Illinois up by 2. They're on a 9-0 run. Here is Makira Cook, left it short, but on the offensive glass, it's McKenzie. McKenzie with the poor shot attempt, and then finally, Sydney Parrish gets it away for Indiana.
Important stretch here offensively for the Hoosiers. Look for Mackenzie Holmes to get involved.
And there is Holmes laying it up and in to tie it up at 47.
That's exactly who needs to get the ball for the Hoosiers offensively. If you're in need of a basket, go to the reigning Big Ten Player of the Week.
Kendall Bostic at the elbow. Handing off to Genesis Bryant. She'll take the 17-footer. Somehow doesn't fall as Holmes clears the boards for Indiana. Terry Morin shouting out instructions as Indiana setting up a play. Here's Sydney Parrish, up to Sarah Scalia. Chloe Moore McNeil will reject the screen. Moore McNeil going right, gets trapped and turns it over. Adalia McKenzie. Over to Genesis Bryant. Bryant gets bumped at the foul line, hand checked again. And that's already the third foul that IU has committed in this quarter. So something to watch. Illinois could be in the bonus very soon. Genesis Bryant off the inbound pass. Bryant will step into a three-point shot. Whiffs on everything as that was far too strong from the hands of the junior Genesis Bryant.
The Hoosier didn't get hurt on that one, but you can't leave a 49% three-point shooter open like that. Mackenzie Holmes popped out on that screen and hedged hard, but she didn't wait until Sydney Parrish got back onto Bryant. She hedged and then left, and Bryant was all alone as Sydney Parrish hadn't gotten back yet.
Holmes can't handle the entry pass. It rolls out of bounds back to Illinois.
Uncharacteristic turnovers here for the Hoosiers to start this quarter. We just saw one from Chloe Moore McNeil on a possession not too long ago right there. Mackenzie Holmes, who typically does a good job of making herself available down on the block for easy entry passes, just couldn't handle that one.
We saw Illinois sink a three to begin this fourth quarter, but the Fighting Illini have not scored since. Makaira Cook will try to change that, and she does. Cook now has 25 points. Chloe Moore McNeil with the basketball for IU. As it looks like Cook is grabbing at her lower left leg. We'll see if that ends up being an issue. They find Yarden Garzone inside, wide open for the right-handed layup.
Great execution by the Hoosiers. When you're in need of buckets late, you have to execute, and that's exactly what Indiana did right there.
49 all, less than 7 minutes left to play in the fourth quarter of the Big Ten opener. Makaira Cook is gonna go left. Cook with the layup, got it to roll through with the foul call. Makaira Cook has 27 points, too shy of her career high of 29, which she did twice at Dayton last season.
Chloe Moore McNeil, typically a very good defender, just gets beat off the dribble. Makaira Cook doing a good job recognizing that Sarah Scalia was in the lane, in the paint, waiting for her to try and draw a charge. Doing a good job last second, pulling up on that floater, getting it to go, plus the contact. Makaira Cook playing with a lot of heart so far in this one, up to 27 points on the night.
Cook is small, but she is mighty, 5'6", as she converts on the three-point play, now has 28 points. Over half of Illinois' points today have come from the hands of Makaira Cook. 3-point lead now for the Illini. Up top, Mackenzie Holmes finds Sarah Scalia. Scalia looking to drive, puts up another runner, doesn't go, and Peebles gets the board for Illinois. In the front court, here's Cook, right back to Peebles. Peebles thought about a three, and taken away by Mackenzie Holmes. Chloe Moore McNeil has it for IU. Moore McNeil inside, has it stuffed by Kendall Bostic, but right into the hand of Mackenzie Holmes, who lays it through, and a quick timeout is taken by Terry Moore.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
This Indiana crowd is into it. Knotted up at 56 apiece. This game is coming down to the wire. Peebles with the ball over to Bostic. They're gonna try to hand it off to Cook. Instead, they find Jada Peebles. Peebles pulls up for the J. Couldn't get it to fall. Dahlia McKenzie got the rebound, but they call her for an over-the-back foul. So it'll go back over to Indiana.
Good box out there from Sydney Parrish down low. McKenzie couldn't really do anything other than foul Sydney Parrish, because Sydney Parrish was able to get in good defensive positioning, get the box out. Aggressive player is McKenzie on the offensive glass, just unable to get that one cleanly.
Holmes gives it to Chloe Moore McNeil. Moore McNeil to Holmes at the foul line for the J. Off back iron, rebound fought for. Illinois is gonna pick it up with McKenzie. They give it to the point guard, the leader, Makaira Cook, and actually it'll be a timeout.
The Hoosiers have won the last 13 meetings between these two. Makaira Cook, 30 points on the night, trying to change that.
Adalia McKenzie has the basketball, pulls up for the short jump shot, a little too strong, and a foul will be called on Illinois. It's Adalia McKenzie called for the foul again, going for the offensive rebound. That's the second time that's happened to her in this quarter.
Just trying to get over. She's not the biggest player down there in that scrum for that rebound. Mackenzie Holmes was trying to go over the back of Holmes, was McKenzie there. Gonna be whistled for that foul pretty much every time, like she has been a handful of times tonight.
Chloe Moore McNeil with the basketball. They find Scalia open. She didn't take the three. So now Indiana will swing it around. Garzone for the three. Off target. as we see the set called out by Makaira Cook. Now she's gonna get a ball screen from Bostic. They try to trap her. Cook weaving around, finds an open Adalia McKenzie, high arcing three-point shot, way off the mark.
Game plan for the Hoosiers in this last 3 minutes. Looks like it's gonna be get the ball out of the hands of Makaira Cook. Another hard hedge there from Mackenzie Holmes on that ball screen, just trying to force somebody else to do the damage.
Scalia steps into a three, left it short. As we've seen some really bad shots, but that was deflected actually by Kendall Bostic. That's what happened that time. But even in general, we've seen some shots be way off in these last couple of minutes.
Both teams have really picked it up a notch defensively, which has forced some tough shots.
Instead, Garzon will be the one to shoot it. That one is way off, and then Chloe Moore McNeil tapped it out of bounds over to Illinois.
Another one, that's a tough shot on the move there from Yarden Garzon. She'll tell you she probably should have knocked that one down, but still a tough shot on the move.
2:20 left to play. We're tied at 56. Here we go. Bostic with the basketball for Illinois. Handoff here, and the shot is blocked. Cook had it deflected by Mackenzie Holmes, but it's back to Illinois. 6 on the shot clock. Genesis Bryant has to go to work. Bryant gonna step into the 2 with her foot on the line. 2 strong pairs gets the board for IU. And the officials timeout as, did something drop onto the floor?
Makaira
Maybe
Cook limping a little bit. The official just wants to make sure she's all right. Cook's gonna be forced to sub out of this one. 2:29 to, or excuse me, 1:56 to go. Makaira Cook has 30 points and she's limping off the court. She's taking a seat on the bench. Potentially some cramping issues for Makaira Cook. She has been everywhere and left it all on the floor tonight.
a couple in the third quarter. She was grabbing at that lower left leg defensively, but it didn't get her out the game. But now she is out as that pass is deflected. But I think that went off Illinois. It did, as Illinois looked like they were going to have the easy steal, but they could not get a hand on the basketball. So Indiana very fortunate to retain possession.
Chloe Moore McNeil and Mackenzie Holmes just not on the same page.
And they get a wide open look for Sydney Parrish. It rolls through. IU takes a 2-point lead, 95 seconds to play, and a timeout is taken by Shauna Green. It's 58-56, so 2-point lead for the Hoosiers. Makaira Cook back into the game. She has the basketball. For Illinois, she has a 30-point game going. Cook pulls up for the jumper. Off the mark, offensive rebound, Adalia McKenzie. She gets fouled on the putback chance, and she'll head to the charity stripe.
McKenzie didn't get whistled for a foul on that one. I think she got it clean, just using her height and her jumping ability. We'll take a look at it now, but that one looks like it's a clean rebound. Sydney Parrish didn't really get a box out on McKenzie on that one. That's the 11th offensive rebound for the Fighting Illini in this one, but only 2 second chance points.
McKenzie sinks the first free throw. Now today she is just 2 of 5 at the line. But this is a big one coming up to tie the game, and she does it.
McKenzie had a career high 25 in the most recent win at Pitt for Illinois. She shot 82% from the field in that one, but just 3 of 13 tonight.
58 all. Down low, Mackenzie Holmes. Holmes against Kendall Bostic. Difficult left-handed shot. It's tipped out of bounds by Bostic, however. So Indiana will keep the ball. 20 seconds put back on the shot clock after that miss. The inbound to Mackenzie Holmes. Parrish with it, bringing it around. Garzon up to Chloe Moore McNeil. Foul is called on Genesis Bryant. So Bryant running through a screen called for that foul, and that's the bonus. This will be 2 shots for IU. It'll be Sydney Parrish to take them.
Big shots here for Sydney Parrish. Grew up in Indiana. They say Indiana kids don't miss free throws, Zion.
And she did not miss that one. Parrish coming off a career night on Thursday against North Carolina, had 24. That was her 10th point of the day. And she goes 2 for 2 to put Indiana up by 2.
This is the slide of the floor. The Hoosiers have to pick it up. You know Makaira Cook's gonna have the ball in her hands.
Cook goes off the screen. Cook driving inside. Cook going in, and she gets the shot to fall and the foul. Cook ties us up at 60, and she has a chance to put Illinois on top in the final minute.
Makaira Cook snaking around that ball screen. Mackenzie Holmes lost her footing, got whistled for the foul. It was really an uncontested layup from Makaira Cook after Holmes fell down, but she has dominated the Hoosiers in this one. It's been off of that ball screen action at the top of the key. The Hoosiers have not figured out how to stop it.
32 points for Makaira Cook, and this, the most important free throw of the day, she puts it home. 1 point lead for Illinois, 49 seconds to play.
See what Terry Moore wants to do. A chance to go 2 for 1 if she wants to. But the Hoosiers look like they'll slow it down and get the best look available.
Indiana has 2 timeouts at its disposal. It doesn't use them. They go inside Mackenzie Holmes. Holmes against Bostic, trying to get the layup to fall, and it rolls through. And a quick timeout is taken by Indiana.
In a ball screen set. She's done a great job off the screen, being able to get to wherever she wants on the court all night.
So let's see if that happens. The ball is in Cook's hands. Illinois trails by 1, but they're going to kind of wait it out a little bit here. About a 7-second difference between shot clock and game clock. 1 point lead for Indiana. Makaira Cook with the basketball. Cook off the screen going left. Cook gets downhill, goes over Holmes, doesn't get the ball. Parrish gets the rebound for IU. She is fouled by Jada Peebles. As a little extra time off the clock, they're going to have to take a look at that. But Indiana secures the possession. Parrish will head back to the free throw line in just a moment, as I believe the officials will look at the monitor, look at the clock before the free throws are shot. But regardless, Indiana secured the board, and Sydney Parrish will have a pair at the line.
Makaira Cook got the look she wanted. She got into the lane, just couldn't finish. Mackenzie Holmes did a great job on that last defensive possession, keeping her hands high, making it a tough shot for Cook.
You're right, Zach. That was a wonderful contest by Holmes at the basket. And now Sydney Parrish with 2 free throws. They did extend the clock to 7.4 as Holmes can't get the first to fall. Each team has 1 timeout remaining. And remember, in women's college basketball, the ball can't advance on a timeout by the offense. Second free throw is good for Sydney Parrish, and a timeout is taken by Illinois. Illinois with the ball. They trail by 2. They get it in to Makaira Cook, guarded by Chloe Moore McNeil. She does get the ball screen. She pulls up for the jumper over Mackenzie Holmes, left it short. Rebound fought for. Rebound still being fought for. Sarah Scalia comes away with it, and a whistle was blown. I think they'll put a little more time on this clock, but Indiana, barring a disaster, will come away with this tight win.
2 more made free throws for the Hoosiers, and it's over. Yet another good look for Makaira Cook. She got downhill. She got into the lane. Another good contest from Mackenzie Holmes. Makaira Cook was left it all out on the floor tonight. 33 points, just coming up a little bit short on these 2 last possessions for Illinois.
Both times she had a look to make a shot over Mackenzie Holmes. The first one was a little strong, the second one was short, and Indiana getting some contested rebounds as well to close it out.
You're exactly right. That's the biggest part of those possessions if you're the Indiana Hoosiers in that situation. You have to close it out with a defensive rebound, force Illinois to...
So even if we don't see both of these fall for Sarah Scalia, they're gonna have to make a full court shot, but the first one does go for Scalia, who shot over 90% last year, shooting around 88% coming into today. There's no one else Indiana would want taking these shots right now than her. Scalia goes 2 for 2, and that should just about do it. Inbound to Genesis Bryant, and that is our ball game. Indiana avoids the upset loss as they take on Illinois, winning it 65-61 here to open up Big Ten play.